Hi, I'm Andrea. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. Today, we're going to focus a bit on twists and turns. And in addition to those twists and turns, I'm going to try out moving my mat around a little bit so that you can see me best, but I don't want you to move your mats around. I think it's probably best if you start with your mat just facing me. I think that's going to be the easiest visual for you, and I'm going to do my best to create visuals that work for you. If you don't have a yoga mat, don't worry about it. Any space that's not too slippery will be great. I have a chair at the ready. I always recommend that just in case you want to use it. A couple of blocks, if you've got those, thick books might work. And then a folded blanket. That could be your throw blanket from your couch or even a big, thick bath towel. Once you've got that, we will begin in our Tadasana. I'm going to suggest that you stand in the middle of the long edge of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Tadasana is mountain pose, and it's the bedrock of all of our poses and really where we tend to start. But in order to start, we want to stop and settle and find our breath. If it's not too wobbly, you could even close your eyes just to find the inward turn versus that external distraction that can be so tempting to slip into. If you can, try to breathe just through your nose. And the idea is that you will do that from now until the end of the practice. 3 breaths to stop here, and then we'll start. And step out wide on your mat space. If you extend your arms, it's basically ankles underneath wrists. So that gives you an idea of how wide your stance wants to be, but we'll refine that in a moment. Turn your right leg out so that your right foot is facing the short edge of your mat, or you can imagine that if you're not on a mat. And then your back heel will turn at a 45-degree angle. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Bend your front knee as an experiment and just make sure that it's knee over ankle. So for me, I need a little wider, longer stance. Maybe you do too. We're going to be dynamic first here. So inhale, arms overhead, front leg straightens. And then exhale and bend your front knee, extending the arms wide out. Inhale, arms in a V shape overhead, thumbs to the sky, and then bend your front knee into your warrior pose. Once more, arms to the sky, front leg straightens. And then bend your front knee and snuggle into your warrior 2 for a moment. Build it from the ground up. Feel your right heel stamp into your mat. And let your right thigh bone feel like there's a magnet on it, and it's drawing it to the right side of your mat. Your back leg feels as though it's standing in mountain pose. And you can press your thigh bone into the hamstring, so it's not a wobbly bent back leg. There's a little bit of structure there. Outer edge of your back foot is solid, and inner arch of that back foot is alive and lifted. Now, anytime, if you want, that you need to straighten the front leg like we did before and then come back and do it. An advanced yoga practice is one that you have decided to be your own, one by your own design. Take your right form across your right thigh like a karate chop, and make sure that it doesn't feel like you've scrunched your shoulder into your ear. So you have a karate chop of your right forearm on your thigh. You're still standing with lots of strength in your back leg, and your top arm can drift towards the sky, but we never want to impinge or squish shoulders into ears. So keep the karate chop, the thumb to the sky, and then I'd like you to notice that there is a twist happening of your bottom ribs towards the sky. Think of it as a turn for the best, a turn to the sky, a turn towards something up and above and out and bright and sparkly. And stay for just a few more moments here. Come up to warrior two with your thumbs to the sky and then straighten your front leg. You thought I'd never ask. Turn all your toes to face that long edge of your mat. We are in a pretty good position. I think our second side should be spaced well. Turn your left leg out so that it faces the short edge of your mat. Cheat your back heel at a 45-degree angle. Thumbs to the sky, bend your front knee. Warrior two, if any adjustments need to be made, you can make them. Stand into that left heel and then straighten the front leg, V shape overhead. Let that be an inhale if you can, and then exhale back into your warrior two. 2 more times slow and gooey like that, straightening the front leg and the arms to the sky, and then bend your front knee. Last one of our dynamic, arms to the sky, V shape. Bend your front knee, and we settle into our warrior two for a moment here. There's a magnet on your thigh, and it's moving that left thigh to the left so it doesn't drop in knee towards the right side of your mat. See if you can power up the back leg. It's going to help with endurance. We're standing tall. There's a lift to our low belly. Power of your warrior. Your breath is still through your nose. You want to make it as even inhale to exhale as you can. I don't want you to obsess on that, but it's something to just fold into the mix. And then with precision, left forearm across left thigh. Still no collapse. It's tempting though, isn't it? And then you want to bend the knee enough that it's a bit of a shelf. Your right arm is to the sky with your thumb to the ceiling. And if you want to drift that arm a bit, that's fine, but there's no squishy right shoulder into right ear, right? Now find that turn for the best. Bottom ribs towards the light, towards the sky. And then you keep refining those little subtle movements as we're here, so it never gets boring. There's always an awareness, drifting body part to body part, carried by your breath. Remember our deal. If you need to straighten and rebend the knee at all, you can. Just 2 more moments here. And then we come back to our warrior pose with the thumbs to the sky. Firm through your belly. Slowly straighten the front leg. Turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. And then heel toe, until you're able to stand. This is where I move my mat. You don't move yours. So I'm just going to see if it makes it a little easier for you to see me by moving this way. And I will adjust my chair in case I want to use my chair. And you will do this. If you have blocks, take your 2 blocks to either side of your mat. And then come and stand in the front of your space in our Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Here's where you have the option of hands on the base of your chair or hands to your blocks. Step your left foot back so your right foot is forward. Your back knee is off of your mat. We're still thinking Tadasana in our torso, so there's plenty of length. Stamp into your right heel like we talked about in Warrior Two. That turns on our hamstring muscles, so the muscles in the backs of our legs, and that's a good idea. We're going to take another turn for the best. So turn to your right, thumb to the sky. Remember how we didn't have any scrunching happening when we were in Warrior Two? Actually, it's called side angle when we had our forearm across our thigh. Find that here as well. So if you think of spinning the inner upper arms away from one another and then rotating your chest to the sky, so not your neck, there's no torquing, and it's just a sweet little twist. Remember, turn for the best. 2 more moments, just as we are. Unwind your right hand to your block. Step your left foot hip distance from your right foot. Inhale, hands to thighs, heart extends. Exhale, deepen the hinge at your hip just a little. And then inhale, stand up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape overhead. And then we return to our mountain. Turn your palms away from each other. Smile your collarbones. Think ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. We'll take our second side. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands come to your thighs. Inhale, extending your heart forward, either hands to the base of your chair or onto your tall blocks. This time, you'll step your right foot back. And here we are in a lunge without our knee down, so we don't really need to worry about padding. Before we add our twist, we're going to see if we can find a little bit more length. And then it's always part of the foundation to check in with your breathing, in and out through your nose. Keep your right hand on your block or even on the base of your chair. Start to float open into your twist towards the left. Left thumb to the sky, no squishing of shoulders into ears. And if you spin the inner upper arms away from each other, you'll start to find a little bit more freedom. Sometimes when we're twisting, we feel like we want to hold our breath. So make sure that you fill this twist with breath. And then we just have a couple more moments where we are. You're doing great. A definite turn for the best. Now we'll unwind and take your left hand onto your block. Step your right foot hip distance from your left foot. Inhale, hands to thighs, heart extends. And then exhale, fold it in. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Take your arms along your side and just a moment to digest. Sort of like our stop so that we could start. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Hands to your thighs, hinge at your hips. Inhale, heart extends forward. Hands to the base of your chair or hands onto your blocks. Now be forewarned that we're going to lower the back knee this time, so maybe you would like to take a moment to adjust your padding for your back knee. Step your left foot back and then lower your back knee onto your mat. I like to keep my toes curled under on that back foot, just helps my knee, and oftentimes padding is really a nice thing too. Now, it's going to be tricky with your hand on your chair, but you can always draw that chair towards you so that you have it at the ready and where you want it. Left hand on your block, start to twist open, right thumb to the sky. Here as well, inhale and grow long. Exhale, turn for the best as your bottom ribs go to the sky. And just notice as we're here, it is so tempting to crank your neck because that's already very flexible. It's very pliable. So instead, think that you want to grow tall when you inhale out the crown of your head, and then let that make it a little more easeful when you twist to your right. Stay for a couple of moments here. And then unwind your right hand onto your block. Take your back knee off your mat. Step hip distance, left foot next to right. Hands to thighs. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, fold at the hips. And then inhale, rise. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Arms along your side. Second side. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands come to the base of your chair or to your blocks. Probably your padding is still there, but remember that when you step back so you don't trip on it. Right foot steps back this time. Lower your right knee to your mat. Get settled in. Feel a stamp into your left heel, that front heel. Find your Tadasana spine. And then right hand will stay on your block. We'll twist open towards the left. left thumb to the sky, and just notice all the habits that show up. It's not because we're bad people, they've just been the way we've operated for a long time. So a lot of that sort of stress in our shoulders or a collapse into things. Instead, stamp into that heel, grow tall, spin the inner upper arms away from each other, and adventure into your twist. You can coordinate it with your breath, inhaling and growing long, exhaling and turning your bottom ribs to the sky. Stay with it. Let it become a bit of a meditation. Notice where you might be efforting a little too much. Let that be a little more easeful. It's not that you're not trying. It's just that there's no force. Then unravel your left hand onto your block. Take your back knee off your mat and step your right foot hip distance from your left foot. Hands to thighs, inhale, heart reaches forward. Exhale, deepen the hinge at your hips just a bit. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. And then digest here in your mountain and pause. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape overhead, and then exhale, hinge at the hips and bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands to base of chair or hands to your tall blocks. Step your left foot back, lower your knee. Perhaps you've got your padding, so just be careful as you step it back. You can always bring the padding into the mix if you haven't yet. A little different this time. The blocks I think are really handy for this. Straighten your front leg and curl your toes back towards you. So you'll straighten your right leg and just think about that alignment point that we spoke of in lunges, even though we have a straight leg. So right hip back and left hip forward, so we're not swinging out to the side here. Let it be elegant. Find a lift of your low belly. The other thing that's going to be helpful with that right hip drawing back and left hip drawing forward is that it's going to help us balance in a second. But first, let's enjoy a sweet stretch on the back of that right leg. Now, we're not rounding our back. It's a hinge at the hip, just like in our sun salutation. So imagine standing tall and just letting it hinge at your hip. A couple more moments as we are. We'll take a turn for the best here too in this pose. Left hand stays on your block, thumb to the sky, turning from your waist. So not a big turn of the neck. Inhale, grow long, feel that right hip draw back, so there's space there. And then exhale, a little rotation. And you keep working on it. It's not a statue. It's a living organism, every pose. So when you exhale, you rotate those bottom ribs. And when you inhale, you create space on both sides of the waist. And then we'll stay for 2 more moments. How's it going with the shoulders not creeping into your ears? Slowly exhale your right hand onto your block. Bend your right knee, stamp your right foot into the ground, lift your back knee off your mat. Step hip distance, left foot meets right foot, hands to thighs. Inhale your heart forward, and then exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, rise and reach. Thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then stand in the majesty of your mountain. Second side. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands come to the base of your chair or to your tall blocks. You remember that there might be padding back there to navigate. Step your right foot back so your left foot is forward, and then gently lower your back knee. The front leg will straighten so you can scooch around. It's a very technical term, scooching. And remember, we don't twist yet. So sometimes there's this anticipation, don't you think, on the second side, because you know what's probably going to happen unless I forget. Be present. Let your spine get long here. Enjoy just the stretch for a few moments. It's easy to get ahead of ourselves or to get lost in reviewing something that already happened over and over and over again, as if we could change what already happened. We're effective in this moment, right now. So in this moment, right now, keep your right hand on your block, begin to find the turn, thumb to the sky, and then just check, because I know I'm tempted to collapse into my right shoulder right now. So really let it be the majesty of your mountain. And it doesn't need to be a corkscrew to turn for the best. So that means left hip back, right hip forward a little bit. Your gaze can drift over towards your left a little. Smile your collarbones. Any other smiling that you feel inclined to do, accepted by me. Last few moments here. One last inhale grows you long out the top of your head. And the exhale turns you just the tiniest, subtlest bit deeper. Left hand to your block. Bend your left knee. Stamp your left foot. Take your back knee off your mat. Right foot hip distance from left foot. Hands to thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, deepen the crease. And then inhale, standing up, thumbs to the sky, reach to the sky, arms along your side. Another little pause to enjoy. Feel the effects of your practice so far. One sun salutation to take us to the floor. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extending your heart forward. Take your hands to the base of your chair or to your tall blocks, and then carefully come kneeling. This next pose, I want you to take a lot of time really setting up so that it's okay for you. It's on the ground. I'm going to move my chair so that I know that you can see me all right. And then I like to take my blanket and to make it a little bit less folded for this. It's a pose called Virasana, which means hero's pose. So you're going to come kneeling and then take a block this way. So let me turn so that you can see me. I'm going to turn my back on you, but I would never really turn my back on you. It goes in between your ankles here. And it actually might be even better with two blocks stacked on top of each other. Because I don't want this to be painful for your knees. I just want us to get a nice little stretch in the fronts of the thighs. Press down into the tops of your feet so the pinky side of your foot is on the ground. And then find the posture of your mountain from the waist up. Take a moment to meditate here. Let your shoulder heads, so that's the very tops of your shoulders, lean back. And lean your head back just a little so it's that ears over shoulders over hips feeling. Inhale your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky in a V shape. Stay tall and turn to your right. Another turn for the best. You're using oblique muscles. Those are your side waist muscles. They are essential for standing tall out in the world. And here you are in your hero's pose, standing tall with a turn for the best. Take your left hand outside your right thigh and either right hand behind you, or maybe you even take it behind your back so you can see where my hand is at the hip crease. And then grow tall as you inhale. And let yourself turn gently as you exhale. Just a couple more moments as we are here. Turn your gaze, unwind slowly, pause for a moment. Just feel how there's a tiny little bit of difference one side to the other because we've turned one way and not the other. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Turn to your left and pause. So this one, we don't have any leverage. Like before we put our right hand on the outside of that left thigh, it's called an active range of motion. It's important. They're both good. They're both beneficial. But it's nice to use our bodies in different ways. And maybe you kind of noticed that when you took a second to note one side being different from the other before we did the second side of this twist. Take your right hand outside the left thigh. Left hand behind your back on the ground or even just in that little crux of your hip. And then inhale, grow tall. And exhale, a little loving nudge into your twist. And we're here for a few moments. Really great last moment. If ever this hero's pose doesn't work for you, you could do this twist seated in a chair too. So if building it to become a really tall bench didn't work, just know that there's always an option, a way to do it. You can always do these things sitting in a chair if it feels better to you. Unwind, unravel, and pause. Lean forward enough that you can take your bench out from in between your feet and set it off to the side. Now I am going to fold my blanket a little bit more, so you might follow suit. You might do the same. Then when you sit on your blanket this time, take your legs wide out to the side. Now that can be sticky business, and it's awfully tempting when we do that to let something like this start to happen. So prop up, maybe even the block is a better seat for you. And feel free to keep a bend in your knees because there's a lot going on. There's a hamstring stretch, an inner thigh stretch. So make it your own, curl your toes back and find the posture of your mountain pose here. You can just rest your hands on your thighs. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Turn to your right in this new shape. Pause for a moment. And then bring your hands on either side of your body. Could be helpful to have your blocks there. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, gentle little turn. A turn for the best for sure. Inhale, and then as you exhale, make your way to center. Inhale your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. And exhale to your twist to the left. Stay for a moment. This is that twist without any leverage. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale a little bit more twist, and then just let your hands gently drop to either side of your left leg. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, a little bit of a twist. Excellent. And then stay for your inhale. Exhale, unwind, bend your knees. Hold the backs of your thighs so that you can bring your feet hip distance. If you prefer, you can sit seated in a meditation or final Shavasana meditation, lying down on your mat, spilling out across the floor. Feet fall open. Maybe shimmy your shoulders underneath you. If you're comfortable, close. Possibly cover your eyes. Digest your practice. You're always encouraged to stay in your final Shavasana meditation as long as you'd like. If you're ready, gently move fingers and toes. Collect your knees into your chest. Roll gently to either side. Then using the strength of your arms, come up to a comfortable seat. You could sit on your perch if it's a little bit helpful. Rest your palms up or down in your lap. Just take a moment to take a turn for the best when you roll up your mat and walk out into the world. I'm Andrea. I thank you so much for practicing with me, and I look forward